Hey Beyonders, what's going on? I'm your host Joss. Welcome back to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. And hang out with me until the end to catch some common features. Remember the days when we could watch deleted scenes under the bonus content on our DVDs? We could watch them and decide if they should have kept them in the movie or not? Well, just for fun, what do you say we do that right now? Here's a list of top 10 deleted scenes in movies that change everything. Let me know. Do you think they should keep it in? Should they have left it out? You be the judge. Beginning our list in the number 10 spot is a scene from Return of the Jedi. Most Star Wars fans are content with how the series has played out over the years, but I'm sure there's at least a few people who have wondered why Obi-Wan never told Luke straight up that Darth Vader was his father. Apparently, Yoda forbid him to do that, so that's why he never did. But we wouldn't know this because the scene was deleted. Some raw footage leaked online and shows an additional scene of Yoda's deathbed. During the scene, the Jedi Master says, "Obi-Wan would have told you long ago had I let him." We can only imagine how it could change the plot if Obi did tell Luke from the start, or if we at least knew why he didn't. Not really sure why the scene was deleted, maybe they liked the idea of having us to wonder about it. Next up at number 9 is one that comes from the movie It. Pennywise the clown is creepy, there's no denying that. Just the whole idea of a killer clown that likes to kill children is enough to make us question the weirdo who came up with the idea in the first place. But once you realize it's Stephen King, it all makes sense. But turns out he's more twisted than we thought, and there was a scene that got deleted because it was incredibly disturbing. The clown actor Bill Skarsgård revealed that there was a scene that showed Pennywise before he was a clown. The actor told Independent during an interview, "There was a scene we shot that was a flashback from the 1600s before Pennywise. The scene turned out really disturbing, and I'm not the clown, I look more like myself." He's beating around the bush at first, but later revealed that it showed him eating a human baby. Bill went on to say that the scene was cut because it was supposed to show the clown's disturbing backstory and that it might be something worth exploring. I'm not sure how well it would have gone over if they kept that in. Eating kids was like bad enough, but a man eating a human baby? Maybe a bit too far? Yeah. Coming into the number 8 spot is the movie Knocked Up. The comedy came out in 2007 and had mixed reviews. For the most part, people thought it was funny because it had a hilarious cast lineup. Anything that involves Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill is guaranteed to make us laugh. But there is a deleted scene that has surfaced on the internet and it probably would have changed the movie ratings, and not in a positive way. Some would say it should have been included and some would say that it shouldn't. I think it all depends on your sense of humor and your personal beliefs. In the scene, Jonah Hill goes off on a 2-minute rant about the movie Brokeback Mountain. If you haven't seen the movie, it tells the story of 2 gay men who have a secret love affair without their wives or anyone knowing. In Jonah Hill's rant, he says a lot of things that could offend some people and a lot of things that are just straight up inappropriate. Like, I can't even say them on here, they're that gross. Basically, he's ranting about the fact that the movie doesn't show any good sex scenes between the 2 men. But I'm putting that politely compared to what Jonah says. At number 7 is a scene that got cut from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Fans anticipated seeing the movie when it came out back in 2014, but the ratings weren't that great. It only received a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes, and so it's pretty much a 50-50 split when you ask people if they like it or not. Which is why this deleted scene would be a tough call on whether it should have been kept in or not. There was an alternate ending scene that showed the reappearance of Peter Parker's dad when he goes to visit his grave. The scene quickly becomes weird when we see that his dad was actually alive the whole time and had been keeping an eye on him. The whole idea is just weird and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. If they would have kept that ending, then the third movie would have had to be completely different and they would have a lot more explaining to do. So it's probably for the best they just cut this one out. Swiping the number 6 spot is coming from the movie Frozen. The animated musical that changed my world when it came out back in 2013. If you're a fan like me, you can admit that it was impossible not to fall in love with the characters. Even Elsa, who some people have mixed feelings about. Not everyone agrees with how Elsa handled things or how she uses her powers, but Disney still found a way for the majority of us, if you have a heart, to fall in love with her. But things may have been different if they kept one of their deleted scenes in the movie. In the scene, Elsa was going to trap and torture soldiers of Arendelle to get information about her sister Anna. If they kept the scene in, it would definitely make Elsa look like the villain of the story, which could have made the movie more interesting and maybe a little darker, but I don't think that was the vibe they were going for this one. Halfway through the list at number 5 is The Wizard of Oz. You might already know about this one because it is one of the most famous deleted scenes of all time. There was a musical number that got cut from the cult classic movie and it was called The Jitterbug. In the movie we see the Wicked Witch tell the flying monkeys that she sent something ahead to take the fight out of Dorothy and her friends. But we never got to see what she meant by that. Turns out she was talking about a bug that bites people and its venom makes them dance uncontrollably until they exhaust themselves and drop. Basically me on a night out. Kind of a weird and interesting idea, but it wouldn't have allowed the rest of the movie to follow if this bug ended up taking Dorothy down. The Wizard of Oz had a lot of changes and cuts made to the movie though. Apparently, there was also supposed to be a love story between Dorothy and the Scarecrow, which is why she says to him, "I think I'll miss you most of all." But the studio cut that out too. I mean, I think I would rather have seen that weird jitterbug dance number. Moving on to number 4 is the deleted scene from the iconic Forrest Gump. Ever wonder what Forrest said at the rally in Washington when his mic got unplugged? Well, it turns out we were supposed to hear it, but then the scene got deleted from the final edit. The screenwriter spoke about it during an interview, saying that he talked to his friends Billy Crystal and Robin Williams about Forrest's big Washington speech. He says he tried the comedy thing, but it didn't quite work. He said, "And then I tried to write some big glorious speech about patriotism and Vietnam. It was a really wonderful American speech, but that didn't quite work. So Bob came up with a solution that he starts speaking and then they pull the plug. But the speech really was a more serious approach." Actor Tom Hanks revealed what he said in his original speech, and one line was, "Sometimes when people go to Vietnam, they go home to their mamas without any legs. Sometimes they don't go home at all. That is a bad thing. That's all I have to say about that." I don't know how people would have reacted to that version of the speech. A little too serious, so maybe the silence was the best option. In our third spot comes from Beetlejuice. The 1988 movie was a good mix of fantasy and horror, and fans loved every bit of it. The story touched on ghosts and the afterlife, but it was more of a cult classic than a horror film. That might be because the original ending scene was cut from the version that we saw. Apparently Beetlejuice had a much darker ending originally. It was revealed by one of the movie's writers, Larry Wilson, that the scene had Winona Ryder's character, Lydia, dying in a fire so she could live as a ghost. The ending we saw had Lydia getting a good grade on a test and celebrating with the ghost in a very much alive fashion. Turns out they changed it because people were asking them if it was really a good idea to tell goth teenagers to die in a fire, so they decided to change it. What do you guys think though? Would that ending have been too much, or would you have preferred it? I'm kinda torn on that one. Like, I think it's kind of a cool idea, kind of like a Twilight thing going on, where she dies to become a vampire. In spot number 2 we have one from a Disney favorite, The Lion King. We loved seeing the romance unfold between Nala and Simba. I mean, how could we not get emotional when we saw them reunite in the jungle and feel the love tonight? I almost sang that, but I'm not going to. But have you ever wondered what she was even doing way out there away from Pride Rock in the first place? Probably not, which I understand because I didn't either. But a deleted scene explains that Nala vanished from Pride Rock because she was actually banned from it. I guess Disney had a more icky idea in mind and created a scene where Scar proposes to her and asks her to become his queen. He sings this weird song where he talks about a family and kids and that he needs someone as his partner in that. When she says no, he bans her from Pride Rock unless she agrees to it. So being the bad bitch that she is, she leaves, and that's why she's out there in the jungle. Mind blown, right? I know. I had no idea this was a thing. It's creepy and it's weird. Taking the number 1 spot on our list is Back to the Future. The whole franchise is considered to be fun for the whole family. There's nothing too risque, and ultimately good trumps evil, which is always a family favorite theme. It was a fun idea to have Marty travel back in the 50s to make his parents fall in love or he won't exist, but it turns out that we didn't get the full story. There was actually a scene that got deleted that some people probably wouldn't have been thrilled about. In the deleted scene, Marty goes to Doc Brown for encouragement before meeting his young and attractive teenage mother at the time. Marty talks about feeling up his mom, ew, and tells Doc that the whole experience could, I quote, screw him up permanently and make him gay. Oh dear. Probably not the most politically correct way of going about that joke or whatever they were aiming for. Good choice in leaving that part out, although it is out there now. There's a clip of it. Down below. Expose it, show it. Alright guys, there's our top 10 list for today. Show us some love and hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, or if you think we deserved it, and let me know what you think about these deleted scenes in the comments down below. On that note, it is comment time. Carmen Carlton says, I truly enjoy watching you and many of the others. You each have your own person and style when you are talking, but each and every person that are a part of the show are very talented. Aww, thanks Carmen. I will pass this message along to everyone else. Although I'm the best. Dean Winchester says, what film wouldn't you watch that is on this list, Joss? The Hillary Clinton one. Boring. Mr. Nobody says, Sausage Party was a great movie for commenting and poking fun at all different religious views. Well, I think that is why people got so offended. Andrew Molinar says, I can stomach some pretty messed up horror, but I absolutely will not touch Serbian film, like ever. No thanks. That is probably for the best, my friend. Alright, I'm getting out of here. That's all I have for you guys today. Follow us on social media to see our behind the scenes. You can find our links down below. Don't be shy. Say hi to us. We don't bite. Although Lucy might. I'm your host, Joss. I will see you next time.